history of the Institute, which began in September of 1968, started a few years earlier when myself and a few other my friends had been learning with Rabbi Shammah 3 or 4 times a week, very serious learning.
In 1968, I had quite a few students already, so I put together a committee, very nice group of guys. They said, okay, we're going to establish a yeshiva, and that's how we got started.
Before you knew it, within 7 or 8 months, so when we started in September of 1968, we had 23 students, and that was the beginning of Sephardic Institute.
1973, during the Yom Kippur War, we sort of closed all the classes and we went out trying to raise funds. We started what was called the Yes campaign, and many students and even the leaders of the organization got together. We went around collecting on corners all over the place. We even had a drive in Shara Zion and collected many tens of thousands of dollars in order to support Israel at those very precarious times.
We have about 10 young men and ladies here from the Syrian community that have been working here for hours. It's now late Saturday night, and I want to talk to a few of these kids. What are you doing here?
I'm calling up all the people in the community and asking them for donations to the widows and orphans, and we're getting very successful response.
How have you done so far?
Very well.
What did you collect so far to date? A couple of $1,000s?
$10,000.
$10,000 from the telephone calls on the office.
It was very inspiring. Many people told me that they never saw anything like that Yes campaign for Israel.
The high school was started basically because there was a gap in the community at that time. We had many elementary schools, but there were not high schools in the community to absorb all these kids.
At the time, there's no high school, and at the time, it was a great thing. All straight, all Shem Shamayim, no politics, no nothing.
We had about 10 kids the first year, and then it just exponentially multiplied. Before we knew it, we had a maximum that time of 300 students in our school, and this building was bustling day and night.
Sephardic High School felt like a family. It was an intimate setting. All the teachers knew the students all knew each other, everyone was supportive of each other, and we had such a wonderful education. Always we had an awareness of the larger world, the larger context. We learned Torah, and yet we learned how to apply Torah and what it means to us in our lives.
I look back at my high school days and I realized that the staff was exceptional.
There's still a very close tie between these students and Rabbi Shammah.
At that point, I was able to go back to what my thoughts had been before 1973, going back to when we established Sephardic, 1968, and I wanted to get to more mature learning and to be able to be influential in helping others get to more mature learning. And I made the decision, quite a few people recommended this to me at the time, to write and publish and get it out to the world.
Okay, so Tebah was formed originally for the rabbi's book, and then as the time went on, it went into doing other things. But the rabbi said, no, I want a lot more out of it. And we ended up now, the official name is Tebah Educational Services, and really putting out material for schools and different curriculum that we're working on also, all with the rabbi's lead, that he wanted to get information into the schools.
When we found out that some women couldn't stand going to mikveh anymore, we got Rabbi Saul Kassin to agree we should build another mikveh.
This mikveh is based in halacha, Sephardic tradition, and made a lot of options available for women when they didn't have them.
In 1997, I bought up my house in Lock Arbor, and the walk to Hathaway Shul, which was the nearest shul, was approximately a mile. And we decided ourselves to go and buy a house. We went to Jersey, we looked at several houses, and we finally found the house that we wanted to pick, and we bought the house.
For the very first week, we prayed in the rabbi's dining room, but then we were able to move into the garage, which was the area that was sectioned off to become a full-service synagogue.
The first weekend was just a beautiful sense of togetherness. It was just wonderful. We were all so excited opening the synagogue.
When we opened up the synagogue in Elberon, there were people who live in Deal all year round who don't go to synagogue because they didn't find a place they liked. All of a sudden, the synagogue opened up and they started coming.
Also at that time, Sephardic Synagogue was tremendously expanded. We hired many other rabbis as well and youth leaders and really expanded the synagogue. But we had other projects on the burner. Chief Rabbi Saul Kassin came to us and said, we need to make an eruv in our community.
He insisted we have to have an eruv. We have to have a Sephardic Eruv that meets the standards and that we, in good conscience, will rely on. It'll be an absolutely kosher Eruv.
Fast forward about 2 years ago, very important upgrade was made to the mikveh. Actually, it was totally redone by some very, very generous and dedicated people, including Ike and Carol Chira.
Rabbi Shammah made it extremely easy and basically said, sure, this project's yours, take the keys, take it over, whatever you need, I'm here.
Leah and Rachel are the mothers of the mikveh. They literally take care of the women like their own daughters, so it's really special to go there.
When I returned to the synagogue last year, I was talking to some of the young people, some people in college, and realized that they don't really have a place. A lot of them, once they graduate from high school, they fall out of coming to synagogue, maybe until they're married and have to bring their kids. And so I worked together with some really bright and talented young professionals in the community, and we created the Chai Minyan. Chai is 18 and Lamed is 30, so 18 to 30-year-olds. And we've managed to create a really vibrant and exciting group.
Young people from all over the community have suddenly found that there is a new place for them to come to shul, to experience learning and to experience a connection to one another and to Judaism, which they haven't had in the past.
As we grow the Chai Minyan, we see that there's a need for yet other things like a high school minyan and a place where little kids can come and play. We'd like to be able to service all of our members from the youngest to the oldest, and have a place that Shabbat morning, Shabbat afternoon, during the week, there's a place for everyone to be involved and to grow and pray and learn.
The impact has been incredible. The attitude, the hashkafa of Sephardic Synagogue Institute, and all of the expanded, even Teba, all of the different things that came out of this synagogue were meant to follow Sephardic tradition and help our people follow our tradition in a way that works in today's modern world.
If you look at the past at what Sephardic has done with all its institutions, from the school to the synagogue to the mikveh to the Eruv to Ohel Yitzhak of Allenhurst, Sephardic Synagogue of Elberon to Merkaz to Teba, and I apologize if I left anything out. So that's in the past, and I think towards the future, to see that with the age of technology, I think so much more is possible, and I really see that Sephardic towards the future will be able to continue to inject life into our community through all of its institutions and through all of its reach.
The new group of rabbis that are coming on board, it was Rabbi Ricky and others, these rabbis, they're carrying the agenda to another group to, in a fuller way, in a more effective way, and I have special prayer that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should especially bless them and help them on their path, especially what they are doing for Klal Yisrael.